Okay, moms. So we all know that we can struggle sometimes and feel disconnected with ourselves because we've had like unrealistic expectations, or we didn't give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, or we're just simply judgmental. If I'm completely honest, we can be our biggest bully at times. This is a big struggle for many women. So today we're going to talk about how to reverse that process and be a better friend to ourselves. Here we go. Okay, so here is a list of 10 ways that we can be a better friend to ourselves. Of course, it's not an exhaustive list, but more of several ideas to get your creative juices flowing, because we all know that we can think outside the box too. We just need to have something to get our wheels turning, right? Okay, so let's do this. Number 1, make and honor commitments. How many of you feel like when you make a commitment with someone else and they say, okay, I'm going to go with you at this time to do this thing, and when they show up, you just feel appreciated and you feel like, wow, that meant a lot to me that they were able to do that and to honor that commitment. Well, imagine that same feeling for when you do it for yourself. That's how it feels, really. When we're being better friends to ourselves, we make and honor our own commitments. 2, give the benefit of the doubt. Okay, so especially for those of you who have high levels of empathy like myself, giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt can seem like a really hard thing to do. It may be easier for us to do it to somebody else and trust that they're doing the best they can. But how often can we say that to ourselves and say, well, I'm doing the best that I can, and really believe it and just be at peace with where we're at? It's kind of hard to do, right? But try it sometime. Try it and just recognize it's okay that I didn't make a perfect meal. I'm doing the best that I can, and that's okay. Number 3, have grace and forgiveness for ourselves. So we can see all of what we do, all of what we think, all of what we say. And so, of course, we're going to be nitpicky because we can see it all, right? But what if we step back a little bit and just give ourselves a little bit of extra grace and forgiveness, recognizing we are doing the best we can with the information that we've been given. And so just like we would want our Savior to do for us and say, I forgive you for yelling at your kids. I forgive you for speaking unkindly to yourself. I will forgive you for not reading your scriptures today. Let's do the same for ourselves. Let's give ourselves that forgiveness and say, you know what, self, you're doing a good job and you're doing the best you can, and I accept you right here, right now. Number 4, celebrate our little and big accomplishments. Okay, this was hard for me. This one was a hard one because I felt like if I were to celebrate, it would be a little extra awkward. Like, I can celebrate my kids, I can celebrate my husband and even friends, but to do it for myself, like, yay, you did it, self, good job. It was a little outside of my comfort zone. But as I started practicing it, I love it. I love it because I can find things that I did that may be hard and just say, good job, and give myself a little figurative pat on the back, you know? I encourage you to try it. Here's one example. So the other day, I was working on something with my kids, and I recognized that instead of my typical, okay, I need to go take a break, this is really hard, I stuck with it a little bit longer. And it still wasn't like the best outcome, but I tried a little more than I tried previously. And so I said, good job, self. You tried a little harder than you did previously. And maybe next time we can try to even control our temper a little bit more than that. But for now, I'm going to accept what I did and celebrate that I did it. Number 5, show an interest in what matters to you. When you have a good friend, They are interested in what you're doing. They ask you about your life. They ask you about what you do on a daily basis. Like if you own a business, they say, how is your business going? It's just what friends do, right? So show an interest in what matters to you too. Instead of it being like drudgery or obligation or just busy work, be interested in it. Kind of sit back and ponder and think about it. How are things going for me really? And wow, that's really cool that I was able to do that. And ooh, that was a hard day. That wasn't so fun, but I got through it. So good job, self, 6, be there when it matters. So are you like me and you go throughout your day and you do thing after thing after thing, trying to complete the to-dos, thinking that if you do that, you'll feel better. And then by the end of the day, you just feel so wiped out and drained, you just need to go to bed? Well, I've learned this recently that I need to just pause every once in a while. Not just to celebrate like we talked about in number 4, but also to just be there and recognize, you know what, self, you are a little extra tired today. Or self, your heart is a little tender because of the news of what happened yesterday. No worries. You're okay. Just do what you can do, and that's enough. Wouldn't you want a friend to say that to you? So say it to yourself. Number 7, prioritize being kind to ourselves. So if we want to change habits and we want to change the way things work in our life, we have to change how we see it and how we say it and how we feel about it, right? So if we want to like ourselves more and we want to be a better friend and just recognize the good person that we are, we kind of need to be kinder to ourselves too. Say kind things, see good and kind things about ourselves, feel kind things about ourselves. Try it. It's an important one. 8, encourage ourselves to keep growing and try hard. This is a big thing for friends, right? We want our friends to be able to say, you need to push yourself a little harder. And it's okay to be outside your comfort zone, or you can do hard things, all of those kinds of encouraging things. We want friends that would do that for us, so be that friend to ourselves, right? Do that kind thing to ourselves. Number 9, learn the value of silence. When you have a hard day and you just wish you had a friend that you could just cry on their shoulder and just be there, and you don't have to say anything. You just have to be there, and they can just be in the silence with you and just hold that space for the negative emotion. What if you did it for yourself? What if you got your own little piece of chocolate for yourself and you sat and you just reflected and you said, you know what? Things are hard and I'm just going to sit and I'm going to breathe and I'm going to release and I'm just going to feel, and it's okay. Wow. Number 10, overlook the small things. Since we have that microscopic view of ourselves and we can see all of our good, all of our not so good, the times when we make our bed or skimp on pulling the covers up extra, the times when we really make a good meal, or other times when we just want to get them out the door, be willing to overlook the small things, the reasons why we didn't do more, and be willing to say to yourself, I did the best that I could, and I'm going to be okay. I want to close this all up and recognize we have a lot of similar things that we can do from this list that all plays into the idea of being okay with where we're at. The best way to be a good friend to ourselves is just to be okay with us, to love ourselves for who we are right now. We can encourage ourselves to keep growing, but we also need to value who we are now and feel important to ourselves now. So I encourage you to try these things. Let me know in the comments what you've tried and how it worked for you. And also, if you like this, like and subscribe. Take care.